Buenas, welcome to Conversations with Coco. I'm your host, Ariana Nieves, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Jem Michelle.
Hey guys, make sure to tune into this episode.
Tap in.
Calling to go when I need all the answers. She told me don't worry, I got you, keep dancing. Future is popping, as God is a witness. Start a new business, oh, it like vision. I told the people, accept me for me. I'm trying to be what I'm destined to be. Excuse my temper, I'm just flowing like trees, like the waves in the ocean. Potion got me poeing. I'm holding the crown, please lay down if you want it. You better come stepping with Curry and Jordan. Trend to the music, don't listen to lyrics. I'm searching through myself to catch up my spirit. Senses is clearer, you whisper, I hear it. I'm getting stronger, yeah, I feel it, I feel it. Hey, do not come near me with negative energy.
Let's go into your transition right now.
Okay.
You going from, it's kind of solely focusing on glam life to now it being like a brand for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think talking about your adversities, about people not fucking supporting you is another good thing that we could talk about.
Yeah.
And then even where you're at right now, like I guess transitioning now that you're pregnant again and like the way you were telling me, like you saw how I was on like my next shift.
Yeah.
Like you're right inside of that next shift moment.
Yeah.
So like I think we should like.
Yeah. Because for me, though, like, I always say makeup and hair got me to where I'm at. It kind of gave me the platform of, like, owning my voice, right? Because even from the jump, like, today I was explaining in the group, like, you have to do the things that most people won't want to do. How many makeup artists are there, right? So, like, for me, I was explaining, I'm from Brooklyn, but what I would do to make myself stand out, I'm a white girl with flavor, with blonde hair, so what I want to do is I wanted to go work with girls that don't look like me. Because I wanted to just get better, because in all honesty, a lot of, like light-skinned girls don't know how to do makeup on darker skinned girls or different pigment color tones, right? So what I did in the beginning of my career is I went to this little spot in Southside Jamaica, Queens from like 12 o'clock at night to 3 in the morning doing girls that were going out to like a club. So I used to go, and I'll never forget, every single time somebody would come in, they were like, she's not doing my makeup. And I would say, just sit down. If you don't like it, you don't have to pay me.
Okay.
Right? That's what I would do. You don't even have to pay, because I didn't care, because I just wanted to get the experience. And I was okay. I already knew that I was going to be told that, right? So I wanted to like thicken my skin, because I just knew I had to be comfortable with the word no, or be comfortable with being judged, because we all get judged in whatever we do, right? So I'll never forget this one girl. To this day, I know exactly her makeover. I still have it on my phone because it was something I always remembered. She gave me such a hard time. She did not want to go to me. She was mad at her friends that they brought her there because she seen me and I couldn't do her makeup, right? I said, look, that's why I never let anyone look in the mirror before. It was just something I always did. Like, just let me do what I'm doing. So when I turned her around, she was like, I'm so sorry. And I said, for what? She's like, I just didn't think you. I said, it's okay. I said, I'm your rare one, right? Because not that I'm saying other girls can't do it, but I was willing to kind of be shut down without even giving a try, right? So like, for me, it was doing the things that most makeup artists don't do. How many makeup artists do you know that just throw themselves out there to be in an uncomfortable situation where you knew girls would not want you to do their makeup?
No, for a fact. I have like a very fond memory when I was in bartending, right, in the strip club. And we used to have a girl that would come Fridays, Saturdays, and Sunday nights. And she would do all the girls' makeup, and she would charge like $200 a face, right, to do the makeup. But you know how it is in the club. Like, there would definitely be times where like they almost to the point where it's like fist fight, like, because like the girls are like either didn't want her to do a makeup, or like she had messed up last time, or like didn't do it exactly the way she wanted to, and it was like a whole ordeal. And she was like, I'm not compromising on price. Like, she just was that type of, she's like, I'm not compromising on what it is, what my price, or whatever. You sat in the seat, you decided to sit here, you could have said no before I started your face, you owe me the $200.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for you to, when you started off in your career, to be like, yo, I'm just gonna prove everybody wrong. I'm just gonna let everybody stay here, and then once they're done, they're gonna pay me what it is they're gonna pay me. Like, you know what I mean?
And I was doing makeovers for like nothing, but I didn't care because I knew it was part of the process. For the first year of makeup, within a year, I was already doing celebrity makeup.
Ooh, girl.
But that's because within that year, though, I probably worked for free the entire year.
How did you end up getting those connections?
I just kept on working. I put myself in every single room. I used to go on websites and just to work with different photographers. I didn't want to work with everyday people right away. I wanted, because in my head, I always envisioned myself as something big, right? So it can be bold to some people, like, oh, who does she? It's not. I have big dreams, so nobody's going to make those things happen. I have to go make them myself, right? So I guess it is like something bold of me to do, but nobody else was going to make that happen for me, and I knew that, right? Because I just was always taught a strong work ethic, right? So what I did was I just started to do, because that's when YouTube started to get big with like Beat Face Honey, that was Nicki Minaj's, makeup artist, whatever. So I just started YouTube, and I remember one thing she said, she goes, you know, you have to fake it till you make it. And a lot of people don't agree with it, but for my case, it helped me because I'll never forget the first time I was on set. It was the first time I was ever on set, and nobody knew it was my first time ever on set. I just held my own, and I just showed up. Right? And I just always, so what I did, I just started working and I started building relationships and networks with a lot of photographers who I still keep in contact today. And they worked for Vogue Germany.
Wow.
And then I wound up getting in with Lion Babe, who is Vanessa Williams, her daughter. I worked with their band. And from there, that was it. I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I remember being in the studio and I would leave crying because I'm like, I can't believe this. You know, you can't believe these things happen to you. And I was like, I wonder what it will feel like when I'm at like a $500 rate makeup artist. Like these are, you know, and like now it's like, well, I can't wait till I'm like a $2,000,
right.
You know what
minimum.
I mean?
Like.
Yeah, but like those goals that I had, I worked for, you know, so I put myself in those situations. That's why, like, when it comes to like empowering and helping other women, like I could tell you about working hard and showing up for yourself and being comfortable with uncomfortable no's, because I did them, I faced them all. It's a part of my journey, but I love it, you know? So yeah, I guess as far as that goes, but like you're saying with that girl that did your makeup in the place, like that's her price. And I love that she stood her ground because that's a boundary.
Right. And I think that a lot of the times with people in the service industry, like, yo, we are always want to take the brute of it.
Yes.
Right? If it's not perfect in the consumer's eyes, they feel as if they can negotiate price all the time.
All the time.
And it's like, no, like that's not how this you wouldn't sit here and negotiate with fucking Tesla or some shit.
Absolutely. I just think it's crazy when people try to get a deal for hair and makeup, like let's say on their wedding day. When yes, the most important part is you guys getting married, but what do I look at when I see mine? I look at my hair and my makeup from that day. Right. You know, and I feel like people that do service, they get so overlooked, or people want to not pay them their price because it does get looked down upon when it shouldn't. It's literally the forefront or the backbone to how an event goes, to how your shoot goes, how it looks. It helps out the photographer with editing. It's so much more. Or like, let's say bartending. Bartending is one of the hardest things I ever had to do when I was younger. I was on my feet for hours. You have to deal with clients, with, you know, customers that sometimes were not that nice. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the same thing in any industry that you're servicing in, you know?
100%. And what I think is really dope too with you is like, you offer a different type of service, right? So there's people that will not blink an eyelash when they have to pay, will happily pay top dollar and save or whatever when it comes to something that is already world renowned. When it comes to somebody famous doing it, like a great example is Glam Life Beauty, right? Mm-hmm. When it comes to Fenty, people are ready to jump to it. When you drop a new palette, how many of our friends are like, oh, like, where's my discount? Where can I get the family and friends discount?
Yeah.
All that. And even with your makeup services, like, Jen is my personal makeup and hair stylist for all of my big events as well. And the service that is supplied, honestly, is top notch to no other. Like, that's something that you can't even put a price point on, because keep in mind, it's an exchange of energy.
Absolutely.
And you're sitting here and you're touching somebody and you're working on your face, and it's not a 5-minute thing. It takes time that you're sitting in the seat. That's actually how we even started our relationship.
That was the beginning of our love affair.
Big shout out to Izzy for putting us in the same room. Izzy behind the camera at the moment, but I was a contracted model with Izzy. She was the makeup and hair stylist, sat down in the seat, and it was like fireworks ever since. So
yeah,
once you got to the point where you were like, okay, people are not paying for the time it's taking. Like, okay, I used to have to do a full beat for 2 hours. Now it takes me an hour to do a full beat. People aren't paying for the time it's taking you to be there. It's the expertise,
Absolutely.
Right? So once you got to that point, like, what was kind of like your shift? Because I know for a fact you definitely had people that were not supporting you. You had friends and family that were not supporting you.
Absolutely.
So how'd you get yourself?
I know it's funny because like whenever I get asked this, I just think I kind of like see like my grind, right? So for me, I needed to build confidence because I think in any woman in business, we never charge our worth. Right? Because we always feel we have to give a deal or we feel bad because it's not the right thing to do or whatever. Let me tell you, your friends are usually not the first people to ever support you. It's usually strangers. And you know, like what they say, a stranger is the first person to become a friend, right? Like a client that became a friend versus a friend that becomes a client, right? So it is true. But for me, in the beginning, I didn't have a lot of support by people that I thought would support me, and that was okay. It hurt me, but again, that taught me a lesson. As far as learning my price point and learning where I was, I invested in myself. I knew, I'm better now, but how can I get even more better? I'm constantly a student. Even now, and now I coach, and I have coaches myself. I have 2 coaches, right, that I work with because I'm not playing around with what I'm trying to do with my next endeavor, right? Mm-hmm. Because I've noticed anytime I've ever invested in myself, I multiplied my worth. Right? I was humble enough to learn from other makeup artists because a lot of girls in beauty are in competition where they don't want to kind of give somebody props, like they do good work or it's cutthroat or they don't want to name somebody that they worked with or whatever. Mm-hmm. I really don't pay attention to that. That stuff doesn't make me or break me. I kind of just worry about what I'm doing. But I've always went into master classes. I've always just invested. I took my money and put it right back into my business, to where I knew what my worth was. And I started to really love my work. Then I started to learn even more because you are what you attract. So when you're open to receiving, you're open to just all the things, right? So I just love to work. The beauty industry is something that's constantly evolving and constantly changing. For me, it was just investing. It was investing in myself because the more I invested, the more I took master classes, the better my craft would be, and time is money, so yeah, you don't want to sit there and do like 3-hour makeup, but certain things call for certain time, right? But I've worked everything from like New York Fashion Week, Miami, swimsuit week, where you have to have girls in and out of the chair in 25 minutes. Right. I've done weddings where a bride, they have my full dedication, but you also have to know your clients. So it's all about the growth. It's all about being open-minded and willing also to realize that you need more work in a certain area and constantly putting that investment in yourself to grow.
And the investment that you put in yourself, I feel, just like you said, you had a clear vision from the beginning. Like, you knew you weren't going to be doing regular faces. You knew you were destined for so much bigger. And I always mess this word up. I know what it means. I know how to read it, but I'm not broken ass English, kind of fucked up. Fruition. I hope I said that correct. But you're bringing everything into fruition, and I
feel like it has to go underneath her, like when she says it.
I say it. Sorry, it's the accent. It's the accent. But one thing I do want to do is just like kind of like name drop a little bit of what you built for yourself. So, we could talk. We could talk about how like you put yourself in New York Fashion Week, everything like that. But like client wise, like you've worked on high profile celebrities. You put yourself in seats when maybe you weren't necessarily prepared in like a paper qualification, but you knew like. So let's just give yourself a second to edify yourself. Why don't you just drop a couple of celebrities that you've had the ability to bless?
Oh my God. So Taryn Manning, loved her. Orange is the New Black. She worked with Eminem, Brittany Murphy, all those great people. Vanessa Williams is still to this day my favorite person I ever worked with. As a little girl, I used to sing in the mirror her songs. So when I met her, it was something that I walked in the house, I opened the door, and I just started crying.
Full circle, like real quick.
Yeah. Taryn Manning, I just recently worked with Gabby, who's like this master manifester. There's so many people I'm trying to think of.
Trying to think, Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins, that was amazing because she's literally super inspirational even to be around her in person. Those are some of the people that I've worked with. I mean, Line Babe, that to me was just something I'm always super grateful to have worked on. I have worked with Quincy, Puff Daddy's son. Yeah. And then like some like, you know, reality star things. But my whole thing was like Taryn Manning, you know, Vanessa Williams. Like those were like celebrities that was just, it was amazing to be able to work with them. But for me now, that was like that was a goal. So now we did that, right? So like now what's next, right? It's constantly the evolution.
Moving.
Yeah.
And even speaking of your evolution, so me and Jen have this beautiful personal relationship on top of our professional relationship. And, you know, she's also my business coach. She offers an amazing mentorship. We have a growth group that is filled with amazing professionals, women who are developing in all different types of ways. We meet morning, 6 a.m. Amazing. But your story and your testimony is really in itself. And it's funny because we're right now sitting in one of the phases. So yeah. I think it's important that you share that because, you know, people can see you right now as the person that has done the face for magazine covers, the person that has their beauty line coming into some crazy shelves, like, you know, yes. Things like that. But what it took for you to get here is so much bigger. So, and it really did start off from a very young age with you.
Yeah. Yeah. You want me to tell my story? So, I mean, I always kind of start off where I'm the oldest of 4 girls because I feel like that's where everything started because I'm typical Brooklyn home. It was me and my sisters. Above me was my aunt and my 3 cousins, all girls. Now I have 3 daughters. So I always was the one doing everybody's hair, makeup, going out, getting ready. That's what I did. Then in my 20s, I kind of struggled. I went to beauty school. I did the whole thing, but then I was told kind of, you really can't make money in beauty, right? And I wanted to be safe because at 21 I had my oldest daughter. So then I was working in advertising, you know, I was bartending, I was working like 3 jobs just to kind of make sure I had, right? And I was just working. I wasn't really living out passion. I was just trying to make money, right? Then in my 30s I moved out to Jersey.
She became a Jersey girl.
Yeah,
okay.
But always a Brooklyn girl at heart. No, the only reason why I personally really love Jersey now is because of Coco. No, but you know, in my 20s I struggled. In my 20s I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. You know, as a teenager I went through trauma that made me rebel because I wasn't smart enough at the time, or I can't think of the word. I wasn't mature enough to understand that I needed to speak on what I was going through, and I didn't. Instead, I rebelled, and I was mad at everybody, right? So in my 20s, I struggled. In my 20s, it was so hard for me. I thought I would never know what I was going to do. Then in my 30s, I wind up, when contouring really became a big thing, I wind up playing around with the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kits. And I don't really wear makeup in my day-to-day because, you know, I'm a mom during the day. And how many of us do really wear makeup all day long anyway, right? And anyone that does, more power to you, right? But I remember going to the mall and this girl came up to me and she goes, "Are you a makeup artist?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a makeup artist." She goes, "Oh, I may need help. I love your makeup. I may need help at New York Fashion Week, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "All right, yeah, here's my number." I'm just thinking maybe she just wanted to talk. Maybe my makeup looked good that day. And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." She called me that night and she asked me to help her, and that's how it started. And I went to New York Fashion Week. When I was there, the girl that was supposed to come and help wasn't. So I was supposed to be assisting. Now I'm doing makeup, and I've never done makeup at a high level at this point. And I'll never forget this. I always remember the first girl that sat in that chair. I always remember her eyebrows, and she hated my life. She died, and I'm so sorry if you're watching this. It wasn't my fault. I did my best. But
eyebrows are hard, to your defense. So.
No, especially if you just only know how to finesse your own.
Right.
You know, but that's it. I did it that day. I came home. I was going to school for nursing. And I was like, that's it. I'm not going back to school. I'm not going back. This is what I'm supposed to do. Everyone thought I was crazy. You know, what are you doing? You know, you have kids. Like, what? I'm like, yeah, but this is the one thing that I actually finally feel that is for me, and I'm going to go all out. And that's what I did. And within 3 years, I had a storefront that was a lucrative business. I started doing pop-up shops that were successful from the jump. You know, so like what is for you, it's going to happen,
right.
You know, but your journey is going to be, everyone's journey is different, you know? So like I remember the struggle. Like I remember, you know, not having when my friends in their early 20s did, you know? And I never was upset because I knew my time would come. That's why now I'm always in my gratitude because I would never forget when I used to sleep on my parents' couch, you know, with a baby. You know, because I had to move back in with my parents because my husband winds up having to go away for 3 years. But that was a part of our journey as a couple too, right?
Yeah.
Because you get tested. But it made me stronger. And in those moments, I used to feel so defeated. Like, what is my life? You know, this is not, you know, why my parents worked so hard, you know. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything because I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't have the mindset that I have right now if my journey wasn't so crazy.
Right, your testimony, and we wouldn't have this version of you.
No,
we wouldn't have Jen, man. Like, even speaking of everything that she brings to the table, so there's just so much I feel like with you. Like, what's beautiful about the brand Glam Life Beauty that it really is bigger than just the tangible products, right?
Thank you.
So like you guys can see, we have the makeup here. She obviously is the makeup and hairstylist. I'm rocking the earrings.
I know, I love them.
Okay, one of my faves, big energy. Got the bracelets on, everything, and I feel like. What's really beautiful about what you do too is just like you were saying with the pop-up shots or whatever, you consistently put yourself in positions to be collaboration over competition.
Always. Consistently.
And I really feel like that's why everything that comes to you comes in tenfold. You know what I'm saying? Because you never really know, like even when I personally feel as if it stems from the fact when you didn't know what rooms you were stepping in. So you were making connections with people like just being truly who you are and then wind up falling in the right place. Now you're able to be on the opposite end of it.
Yeah.
Like you're able to offer opportunities to people now. Like even me personally, you've offered me opportunities, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's amazing. Like it's cyclical. Like, and we were talking about a little bit earlier before we were on camera, how rare it is. Not only within business to have people who are interested in working together and not trying to stab you in the back, but as women business owners, you know, we're already coming, not starting at zero. We start at negative as women, you know what I mean? So it's like, gaining all of that just to be starting at zero, and then now we have to put ourselves to the next level. And you're such a beautiful example of it because you were able to do that in, like you said, less than 3 years and generate a 6-figure business like that, just based off of the energy you were putting forward. So I mean, now that you put you've switched the coin, right? You went from being the grasshopper to being the sensei. So now
are we waxing?
We're waxing. But now that you're in this space and like really genuinely in this space, and even you having the mentorship, like being able to offer the mentorship, where is Glam Life going? Like, where do you feel like this is heading?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Good question. I mean, Glam Life, it's funny because Glam Life is my baby. You know, it's funny how I look at the name and it's just, that's not what it was starting at. It was first Jen Michelle. And I'm like, who the hell's going to want to wear something that says my name on it unless their name is exactly my name? I just think it was not smart marketing. Unless you're Rihanna, you can have Rihanna and then everybody, you know, have her face on, which, you know, again, but I was a nobody, right? And like nobody really knows who I am, right? I'm not somebody that's making hits or anything like that. So at Glam Life, it was funny, but I'll tell you something really quick. So with my first shop, I had a fraudulent lease because I didn't realize how important paperwork was, which that's okay because it's an important part of business that had to see. The thing is one thing you have to realize, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Right?
I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But I do want to make this very important point. This is a really big example. So me as a real estate agent, small businesses, when you're opening up your brick and mortar, I can tell you right now, 99.9% of the time, the infrastructure of whatever it is does not want you to win. Okay? 99.9% of the time, they do take advantage of small businesses.
Absolutely.
So it's really, really like, this is not a rare, like you stating that is even people, even some of my clients, I've seen owners try to get over on them and I'm representing them. So like imagine going to something by yourself as a first-time business owner, getting into something, thinking you're doing the best for yourself, thinking that everybody has the same intentions of you. They want to see you win because of how hard you're working. It's not real, like, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
But continue on your story because it's important.
No, but I love that knowledge that you just dropped because that's so important. It's imperative for people to, and exactly you're saying, people don't have the same heart as you. That's a lesson I had to learn because my heart is on my sleeve. And it's funny because as things happen, it could have changed me or made me bitter, but it didn't. I've learned to accept people for where they are, leave them where they are. And I really had to accept that that was a lesson for me, right? So paperwork was so important. I had a fraudulent lease. I had a great grand opening. And it's funny because everything happens the way it's supposed to, right? Because the spot was good. It was small. I didn't want a big spot for my first time because I'm like, it's my first shop. But, you know, God had bigger plans for me. I was like, no, you needed a bigger shop, right? So within that first weekend of the opening, I found out the paperwork was fraudulent. During that time, my husband had walked up the block and seen something vacant and took a picture of it. But we didn't know any of this was going to happen. So when I found that, literally, I felt like my hopes and dreams were like, this guy just took it away from me. If you can think of somebody walking, dragging their knuckles, that was me. Every day for a week, I was hysterical, crying. Well, I didn't know what to do because my father just helped me revamp this entire. I mean, my heart and soul went into it. Long story short, a lot of my fellow makeup artists that did come to that, I was talking to one of them who I actually met her at a master class. So again, it's networking, right? The power of connecting, collabing over competition. And me and her on the phone, she's like, Jen, I just, I feel so bad. And I'm like, I'm just trying to give people the best glam life. And I don't understand, because I joke around. Right. I'm like, I don't understand. And I go, oh my God, that's the name. That's going to be the name of my next thing is Glam Life. And it's so funny how things come about. And then the next spot that I had was huge. It was a whole entire storefront. We had a back entrance. We had a front entrance. It was beautiful. It took me 3 more months to open up that spot. And I remember being in the spot. And I remember the first day and we're in there and we're like ripping things off. And I don't really cry a lot, even though I keep on telling you guys I cry.
I don't really cry too much, but
when I do. But I remember being in there, and it's so crazy because I go, wow, I needed this to happen because I knew it was going to be big. And it sounds crazy because, did I have times of doubt? Like any of us, absolutely. But I'm like, no, this guy is not going to take my dreams away. You're not going to take every friggin' thing that I have worked for and rip it away. Now I'm going to show you.
Right.
That I'm going to show you. And I opened up Cinco de Mayo. It took me 3 more months to do it. We sold out. I started off with a pop-up. I started off with just women of business. I had, I think, 13 to 15 vendors. I don't remember exactly the number, but we were sold out the door. You couldn't even walk in.
Wow.
And within 6 months, the business was generating money. I wasn't breaking even. We were generating money.
Profits.
Yeah, which, thank God. But I also wound up finding good workers, good talented artists to come in that, believes in glam life. But also I felt like after 3 years, that was it. I wanted to get out while I was ahead because my heart wasn't fully in a salon anymore. Because I got a big opportunity working with one of my long-term clients for the Lifestyle Today show with Justine Santinello. I absolutely adore her. And that was it. I go, you know what? I want to be ready for when I'm able to work with her. And I helped a lot of girls, but also being in a salon, it's hard because a lot of these girls, when they get busy, they think, it kind of goes to a lot of people's heads. They're not humble. But just as quick as you can make it is as quick as you can lose it, and you will not make it, right? And I was kind of tired of helping everybody when their intentions just were to let me build my book and leave, and that's okay. Right? That's okay. Again, that is okay. But I was done with that point. Now it's time to work for me. So I built my in-home salon. I was able to rebrand Glam Life because this was right before the pandemic. Because God, again, was looking out for me, right?
Right.
And that was it. And then it just took off. And it was the best thing I ever did. Again, I went back from basics, right? It was learning to just put all chips down on me. Right? So,
man. And that's the thing. A lot of people, again, they see the end, but they see the end, what we're getting right now, this end version view, whatever, and they don't see all the process of it. it just brings me back to two memes, which like I'm pretty sure you shared in the growth group before, right? Like the one with the teddy bear with Jesus.
What? Tell me.
Remember, Adrienne Ballion had, I think that's how you say her last name, but the cheetah girl, you know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
we all know. It's a cheetah girl, but okay.
Right. But she was talking about it, how like there is a meme of like a little girl holding a teddy bear and Jesus in front of her, and she's like, no, I don't want to let it go, and Jesus has a big ass teddy bear behind him. And,
Yes.
and he's like, trust me or whatever. So like that kind of just, you know, with your salon, like you thought that was it, actually bigger and better, right?
Yeah.
And then also too, like every single phase is, you know, this was the other meme. Every single mountaintop is the bottom of the next mountain.
Yes, I love that.
Right?
Yes.
So it's like also looking at things like that. All this shit sounds so cliche, like, right?
But it's not.
It's real. Mm-hmm. Like these are real things, real experiences. And again, like this is coming, like this is owning us, and like you owned us a lot. We've even spoken personally about, you know, you yourself having employees and artists that were working with you and fucked you, like completely fucked
Absolutely.
you. Like even imagining things like that, like you're giving somebody a space, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you're trusting.
Right.
No.
And we were kind of talking about it too, actually, me and Izzy on the way down here. It just like kind of like came into my head as a result is we were talking about the Will Smith and Chris Rock stuff, right?
Yes.
And one of my biggest like negotiating point in that is like, okay, we have to also look where Will comes from, right? We come from similar circumstances. Mm-hmm. So like when we go through things as first time wealth bearers in our life, like especially stuff that like, you know, we have a different level of passion attached to it. Like you're saying, you know, when you had your storefront open, you were compromising yourself to help others so that they can build their book of business and then leave. So like coming for somebody like us, like where we're from, when somebody fucks you like that, like you're liable to, you know what I'm saying?
You don't know what's gonna
But you being the professional that you are, even as a woman, even coming being a first-time wealth bearer, you know, you are constantly using that as like, okay, this is for me to sharpen my tool. Like, this is a point for me to, I have to learn from this, whatever the lesson's supposed to teach me, and then, you know, we're going to the next. Again, the top of your mountaintop is the bottom of the next. And you are just an example for so many things. And even right now, we're on baby number 4.
Baby number 785.
I cannot.
Yes. And it is a blessing. And it's funny because when I first found out, I was just staring at the stick. And I'm like, I have so many plans. And I'm like, I'm in such a good place in my career right now. Like my mind's, and I said, but I'm in a really good place, right? And it's funny because I had all my other kids. It sounds like I have 50,000 kids. I had my 3 girls in my 20s. So now I'm in my 30s, and I just feel, and even at all those times I knew it was a blessing, but now I'm not struggling anymore. You know, I could take time. My schedule is my schedule. Right? Like I didn't have that. My schedule was whatever work was coming to me, I had to take. So it's such a blessing, and I'm in a different place right now, being older, you know, that I kind of feel like I appreciate it more, you know.
Even those babies kicking your ass.
Then it's probably a boy because only my son could put me through this.
Listen, I'm team boy. I'm gonna let you answer right now. I'm wearing blue to the gender reveal.
But no, it's a blessing. But I did want to say something, right? Because then you had said because you're at the end, like this is where you are. We're never at the end. Right? And the reason why I say that is because, like, for you, like, I love being, like, front row with my popcorn to the Coco show, right? And the reason why I say that is because I literally use you as an example. I know I do it all the time. I know. It's not that I'm favoring you.
I like it, though. God,
but I am.
Favorites, and I'm here.
We're everyone's favorite. We got it. But, like, to see your growth in such a minimal time, and I know you're probably like, wow, like this is what I wanted. But, right, even you notice it, right? Like now this new ending of this goal is now only opening up the new chapter. Right. So you're never at your end because you're constantly evolving. And I love seeing that firsthand. So I do want to acknowledge that because I'm super grateful to be a guest on here. You know that I love you. And I love, me and you, that these are our conversations always. Me and you literally always talk about growth, how to make more money, like what do we do? And I'm grateful to have met you through Izzy. Thank you, Izzy. But no, really, because you are what you surround yourself with. You know, like for you and I, we didn't grow up around people that were really like us, which we worked on ourselves to become. Right? And along the way, we've met incredible people that have maybe turned on a switch to make us, oh shit, let me do it like this, right? Like whatever. And like, you know, I talk about her and you met her, Kelly Lynn Adams, who I adore.
Let's just take a second to edify Kelly Lynn as well. Because, bro, even Jen had hosted an amazing Women's Warrior event. Jen also runs a beautiful growth group called Women's Warriors that she's been developing for years now. Every type of individual is a part of that group, from Kelly Lynn to oh my God, it's like countless authors, like everything that you
every type of woman, every age. Because if you have a hunger to learn and a willingness to just want to grow, that's what a woman warrior is. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. No, because this is us meaning to talk with passion all the time.
Talk your shit, girl. Talk it. But I was actually a guest speaker at the event that I was so blessed to do. And personally, for me, I'm not an open book. I think,
but you're starting to open.
Try one page at a time. And Kelly, actually, she had a very brief conversation with me right before we go on stage. It was very random. And we were speaking, going back and forth. And Kelly flat out, like, I don't know what it was, but just her energy. And she's your coach, right? So it's like just her energy in that moment. She just got me. Like, she was like, look, X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to say what she said. She's like, X, Y, and Z. And she goes, you know when you're ready. And my ass goes on stage, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready. And I'm ready. Literally. At such a huge event. Like, it's just like, okay, just to edify Kelly, she's exceptional. And even her and herself, she was a huge CEO, right? Correct? Like, wasn't she doing...
She used to work for Gucci. I think she was like VP. She had a very high title there. And yeah, then she became she had a place called the 9 to 5s, something like 9 to 5ers. I know it was for people, the After 5 Club. And then her and we met. And I remember meeting her at a networking event. And I said to her, me and you need to do these. And I just met her. But I wanted to be around her because, like you said, her energy. And I've just always, like, she's my mentor. Like, literally, I can go out to eat with her and me and her talk the way you and I talk, where we constantly help each other. She'll be like, all right, let's talk what's going on in your business. And, like, those are the conversations. I want to be around women like that. I don't want to be around women that we're talking small-minded stuff. I want to be around women that are only going to lift me higher or push me or make me want to do things like them. And like for you and I, like we have an age difference. I'm older than you, right? And I always said this to you from the beginning, like we all meet people for a reason, right? But for you, you're so ahead of your age, you know? And you're always willing to learn. You're willing, but you work. You're one of the hardest working people out there. And I always tell you this. I'm like, I can't wait to see where you are at my age. Because your stuff just began. Even though you're in it and you've been doing it for a while, but this is just the beginning of all the greatness that's coming, right? But it's like, again, just constantly putting yourself in positions of gaining knowledge, winning, stuff like that. But with Kelly Lynn, see, this is what happens with me and you. We start to talk all the time. It's horrible.
It's always good convo, though. So
yeah. But you were saying, so she had said something to you, like, you'll know before you get on. And then you were like, all right, I'm on. Right? And then I don't know if I'm getting...
Well, you were talking about Kelly. You brought up
Kelly. Oh, yeah. I forgot what I was saying about her. But basically, along the way, I would meet certain women that kind of changed my mindset. And those women are the ones I gravitated towards. You know, sometimes you have to leave behind friends, family. They're not going to understand your mindset because they're always going to expect you to be that person that they always knew. Right? So... And it sucks, right? But not everybody's supposed to go with you to every single version of yourself or every different level. And I just read an article yesterday about the friend shift, right? Not friendship, the friend shift. Right? Where we shouldn't take it personal when we outgrow somebody, but instead be grateful for that time spent because it definitely has taught us something. Maybe it made us grateful to have that good friendship. But if you're outgrown, if they're outgrowing you, be grateful for it. And the friendship, let it just keep on going because maybe now it's making room for something else. Right. You know, in your life, not everyone is for every level unless they're working on the same things you are constantly. It's just always evolving. That's all I want to do.
Amen. And just trying to like differentiate between like who's a part of the wave and who's the anchor, right?
Yes.
Like, what is sailing this ship, bro? Who's
Are you paddling? Right. Are you weighing us down?
who got the thingy? I don't even know what are the terms. I don't know.
We obviously don't boat.
Two city girls are like
I'm
boats.
like, are we paddling? Are we in a canoe?
A mess. Oh man. I'm just trying to like ease into the thing, but I want to talk a little bit more about kind of what we're doing today. So it's funny, we're doing a 2-for-1 episode, so this might be like a little bit inside of Sim's episode as well. We're finishing up Jen's episode, second half of her episode. The first half, y'all are gonna be obsessed with regardless. And we're also going to be, today I'm throwing a surprise birthday party for Tim. Today is his actual birthday. So we're going to be filming the little bit B-roll, behind the scenes, all that good stuff of Tim's episode. So today, Jen is doing what Jen does the best, making me fucking beautiful. She's going to do my beat, my face, my hair, all that good stuff. So I want to give Jen the mic for a few to kind of talk about, I mean, like, what's the coming soon for Glam Life right now?
So my life kind of changed in the past few months, because now I'm having a baby.
Even though you guys have no idea and cannot tell, we literally just did her gender reveal, so sis is pregnant. Like, this isn't,
second trimester pregnant.
Yeah, the baby's not a grape no more. Like, we're serious now. Like,
it's a turn up this week.
Turn up. Oh boy.
Yeah, so things kind of changed a little bit, like my direction. I feel like I'm in a new place in my life too. So everything was just kind of like the makeup brand. But now with Glam Life, it's something that I always wanted to do because obviously that I'm doing the coaching.
Yes.
And I got really into that. So I'm just really focused on the stuff that I have, the accessories that I have in the makeup palettes, because those are like my big sellers. Those are the things that go. So I'm just continuing to do that. But my thing right now and the direction that I'm going in is kind of like a rebrand. I love doing the group coaching and the individual coaching. So I just feel like that's my purpose a little bit more now. Like makeup and hair got me in the door, but now I'm kind of finding another passion. It's kind of like you think you're done, like you hit like your best, right? But then like life happens, like nope, you're not done evolving. Like there's more to this,
Next
so
level.
That's how I feel like I'm in a different place. And I think that if I wasn't having a baby right now, I probably would have kept on putting off the coaching.
Who is this? Nathan will be okay, Nathan. I'm sorry. All these, this is a work call.
I got you.
Thank you, sis. But continue with the coaching and everything.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I really enjoy it. The feedback has been really great, from the group that you are also a part of.
Yes, I was about to say, like, don't make me edify this group, bro, because let's be realistic, and it's something that we're actually, this month, we're getting into money mindset. So we've been talking a lot about financial literacy. We're reading an amazing book. We're all together on that. But one of the main focuses is just like, really honing into who we are and radiating next to that person and being right aligned with that. Like even showing up as that person. That's like our challenge this month, everything like that.
2.0 version.
2.0 version. And the investment that you make into yourself, 100%. This is something that's talked about in the book, in chapter 4, actually, where the author of the book was basically just speaking about how she was doubling down and investing in mentors and business coaches. So definitely a cheat code. So I'm so blessed to have Jen as my mentor and my business coach for a fact.
Well, I feel like we're everything.
We do it all.
We do it all together. Oh my God. All right, well, yeah. I can't even stand that. No, and take 5. No, well, the whole thing with the coaching, this is the thing. I always usually have like a lot of people that ask me for advice, and I do have a coach. So why keep on giving out free info? It has nothing, when... I worked hard for this. I invested in the knowledge that I do have, and I could help. I love doing strategy. I love business. I literally talk about business all the time. So it's just and I like seeing women win. I remember when I didn't have what I have, so I just feel like it's a part of giving back, and I also feel like it's a part of like certain successes, like in levels that you hit. Because it is supposed to. You're supposed to give back. Like your blessings aren't made just for you to keep and be, greedy with it. It's like the energy you're putting out, and I don't do it to get good energy back, but it feels good when you do good for other people. You see somebody's growth, or you can be part of you know, the next big thing, like, you know, like not on purpose, but because you see that spark in somebody that they have, you know?
100%. The energy you radiate is always what is, we're energetic beings. Like, that's just what you attract. And that's honestly what led us to meet each other, like energy. And Izzy. Izzy was the main energy.
It was like on purpose, on accident?
Right, dead ass.
Because it was like instant, we just instantly clicked. And I just think because we have a lot of the same mentality, we kind of are overachievers. We're constantly talking business with each other, but we're friends. Like, but that's what your friends are supposed to be like. It's not about just the party. It's, you know, it's about becoming a better version of yourself, having your friends that call you out, that are honest, that have uncomfortable, you know, talk with one another, because you can be honest with each other, but also support one another.
100%. If your relationships are not challenging you to be the best version of yourself, just like you said, like, that's a problem. That should be always like a major pillar. That's the point of growth. And what I love too is that, like, in these few months that we've been a part of that you've started the growth group and I've been a part of it with you, you know, we're going into 5 months now, literally.
I really can't believe
Literally going into 5 months, and it's like you see the growth in me just alone, like, you know, the change, and like vice versa. I definitely feel as if everything that my dad actually sent my dad sends Bible messages every morning, but he sent one this morning that just was this conversation, literally, like, you can't pour from an empty cup. It's so important to be able to pour from your overflow, like all that good stuff. And I see that in you, like, you're just like a new person, like, you're just level up with everything.
I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I like it. You know, it's you. I always want to grow. Like, I don't want to. I know I'm doing the right thing if I'm not the same person I am, like I was 6 months ago. You know what I mean?
Right.
And for me, I like challenges. I like things that kind of make me nervous, but then excited at the same time. And, you know, we're reading our books, right? Like, and it's funny because it kind of, to me, is like the universe always listens, you know? So they're like little reality checks to let you know that you're on the right path, you know? 100%. So, like, when, you know, I read something and it says, you know, if you're not excited and scared as shit at the same time, then you're not doing the right thing. I'm like, oh my God, that's how I feel every day. You know, like, so, because for me, like with the group coaching, I know it's something that I was good about in the beginning. Like with anything that we do, I was nervous because I'm like, who would want to come into my group? But I'm like, no, like, I have good energy. And I come from a place of, like, I come from my heart. Like, anything I talk about is always straight from the heart. I don't even think I know any other way of being, you know? So, and it's, you know, it's very informative. And if I could give back and things that have helped me in my career get to another level. And these women, like all of you girls, are like killing it. I mean, the 2.0 challenge that I gave you guys, I mean, you see how people show up in there, and it's really amazing. I don't know, to me, it pushes me. So it's like, even though I'm helping you guys are also helping me.
No, it definitely motivates the shit out of me. And just seeing, especially people really come out of their comfort zone, like people who are a part of it, me being a part of this group, and then seeing like Sharon and Karen, like Jackie, like seeing them just really come into an uncomfortable position to be the best version of themselves gives me life, bro. And it inspires me so much. Like, if it wasn't for Sharon doing her big chop, I honestly would not have updated my wardrobe. Like, that was...
No, when she did that, I died. I was like, okay, she's like, this is like 3.0.
Yeah, she's not playing. Like, she literally had a time. Like, things like that, I'm so... And it's beautiful to be a part of a group like that. Like, and it's so funny because, again, you attract the energy that you radiate. Like, right people, right time. We start off... Our calls are 6:30 in the morning, 3 times a week. Like, it's the best way to not only keep me on track as an individual, as a business person, as a mentor myself, but also in the same breath, like, it just feels nice to be a part of a group of women who are like-minded.
It really is. And it's there, I have to say, especially, I say this every week, but then every week it gets better. You know, and it's funny because we have the private group, you know, on Instagram, and we talk constantly, and everyone pushes each other. It's literally a no competition zone. And I know we've said this before, or have seen other or been involved in other groups as well that no comp, but like this is like straight love,
literally,
and growth, and just wanting the best for every single person. I don't know. It just, to me, it's like such a blessing. And I love when OG Jackie, when she's like, growth group for everyone. You know,
literally. And one thing that I loved. Okay, so the book that we're reading is You're a Badass at Making Money. And one thing that she had brought about in the book was when she was talking about that business coach that was $85,000 for the year. I believe it was, right? For the year?
Yep.
Yeah, $85,000 for the year. And she was talking about how, I mean, she wound up not going through with it regardless of the fact, but she was talking about how she wound up getting a coach the following year for the same amount. And how even though these same limiting beliefs that she had the first time around popped into her head, how am I going to afford this? This is more than I'm making in this year to begin with, like all this good stuff. She made it fucking happen. And that kind of connected with me because Jackie had brought that up, OG Jackie, when she was talking about in one of our calls. She was like, I was nervous to kind of make this investment in myself. It's something that I really thought I was going to have to plan out for. And she was like, but it works every month. Like, I make it happen every month, like, for me to be a part of this.
Yeah, and it's funny because when I read that, I thought of me when I first got a really high-level coach because I was scared. Monthly, it was like, I don't even pay for anything at this rate. But I always in my head in order, every time I invested, whether it be in a master class, just anything I've ever invested in myself, it always came back like 10 times.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And it's scary. You have to. Nothing good comes out of just playing it safe.
Right. What's for you is on the other side of your comfortability.
Yeah, and over your fear. What is it? Faith over fear.
Oh, amen. Amen. But everything that she's doing is coming into fruition.
No, and it's so nice. Thank you.
What is it? Oh, that's from the mic. I'm like, what is this?
I'm like, what is that? I'm saying.
Hold on. I'm gonna put this
Thank
here.
you.
No problem.
No, but it's nice to see her grow too, and I love how when we were reading the book, how that one chapter about like language. I was thinking of her the whole time because she really. I love seeing when she speaks how you can see that she's thinking of the right way because the power of your words is so powerful, and she really owns that, and that's one thing I adore.
Yeah, that's one thing that I will say about Sada is that she's always had a gift with her words, bro. I mean, I will say when I first met her, our relationship started almost 10 years ago. Literally, I'm 28. I just turned 28. Our relationship started 10 years ago. And when we first met each other, like, Sada was always the type, like, her communication skills, like, she will tear you the fuck up, like, without even nothing. Like, her communication skills were always on point. She was mad brutal. Now she got her so polished. So polished.
That's growth.
Yeah, and like professionally, she will so rip the shit out of you. I'll tell you that much. I love your sneakers, bro.
Thank you.
They're just as tight.
Thank you.
So now that we got into kind of glam life talk, we got into you being the best business coach and you growing and developing in that aspect. Let's talk about one of the major changes in your life that you brought up. You having a baby, girl.
I know.
I'm BTT.
Yeah. It's crazy. So it's unexpected, but the best things in life are. When I first found out, I was nervous. I think as most people are. But I'm excited. It's a boy.
I was gonna say, I don't know if we're allowed to tell what it is.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's the first boy.
I have 3 girls, so it's funny because after the gender reveal, I literally, like a few days after, I had to go to the ultrasound place because the last time I was there, the baby was sleeping, so I couldn't see the face. So when I came in, she's like, oh my God, you're back. You want to see the face? I'm like, nope. Go straight to the private area. I need to make sure this is a boy.
Confirm.
Yeah, I just have to, because I have 3 girls, but I'm really, really excited. I'm ready to be a boy mom. I hear it's different, so I'm really excited. And, and it's funny because when I first found out I'm in such a good place, like in my career-wise, but then I was like, oh my God, I'm in such a good place, but I'm like, but I'm in such a good place, so, and it's funny because I already feel like this baby is kind of showing its purpose in so many ways with pushing me, because like the business and life coaching and all that good stuff, I don't think I would have kind of pushed myself as hard with it if I didn't have to kind of rest in the beginning, because in the beginning was hard.
Yeah. No, I remember you were sick as a dog. That's what honestly, like, I knew. Look, when she first told me, I was like, oh no, team girl. Like, Jen is a girl mom, team girl. But then as you started becoming pregnant, I'm like, this is a boy. I know in my soul that this is a boy. At the gender reveal, I was blue tip to tip. I was ready to go. Like, I felt it in my bones. I'm so excited for this little boy. He's going to be so
excited.
blessed. But what I love that you brought up is something that I really want to talk about.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur and as a woman and as a successful business owner, a 6-figure producing business owner,
that narrative that pops into your head when you found out that you were pregnant. Yo, nobody talks about that. I don't even have any kids.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And for the first thing for you to think is like, fuck, I'm in the best place in my career right now. Like, and it took you a second to just like in the book, to reverse it, you know what I'm saying? For you to be like, wait, I'm in the best place in my career right now. And you know what it's like to have, you know, children, 3 other children in completely different places in your life.
Yeah, well, when I had my oldest daughter, I mean, I was living in Brooklyn and with my parents, with my 3 other sisters. I was 21, so I wasn't ready to move out, you know? And I literally shared a room with my sisters, my 2 twin sisters, my daughter, and me, you know? So my husband's like, yeah, but look what, like, we had it so much worse when we, you know, and it's like, you don't realize it because at first it's scary, right? It's like, you know, it's going to change. And yeah, women don't talk about it. Everyone's like, oh, everything's so happy. No, I don't care what woman says. Yeah, they're probably very happy to have, obviously it's a blessing and that kicks in. But I think it's normal for women to also be scared. Like for me, in my 20s, I had my kids. You know, now I'm in my late 30s. I'm about to be 40, you know, and my baby's 8, you know, so I thought I was done.
I didn't expect this. I know it's my fault.
But God had bigger plans. And like I said, my best thing I can ever be is a mom. And I really do feel that way because I love being a mom. Like, you know, my kids, they love watching me and I like them seeing me grow and, you know.
Yeah, you're definitely great at it.
Thank you.
Your daughters are, first of all, gems. It's like the personality on these babies, God bless them. And not only that, they're raised so well.
They're good girls.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Well, that's the one thing I literally love. Like, that's the biggest compliment when people are like, oh my God, your girls, they're so well behaved. I'm like, yeah, they better be. they better be well behaved.
Because they was raised right, okay?
Yeah, no, they better be. No, but you know, I don't know how to explain it, but it really is, you know, such a blessing. You know, you have people that struggle to have kids, and who am I to be nervous? You know what I mean? Who am I to, this is, obviously, there was a bigger plan for me, and it couldn't have been at a better time, you know?
Yeah.
All my girls are enjoying the pregnancy with me. They're going to remember it, and now this poor baby is going to be so spoiled.
Right.
And they're going to be obsessed with him. You know, so I'm excited, and I like being a mom in business, and it's funny because that's kind of the direction that I'm going in now. Is I want to kind of show people like my process of having kids later on in life, you know, where everybody, you know, I kind of, you know, I'm going to be 40, so, you know, it's usually unheard of. You know, when I first announced that I was pregnant, people like, oh my God, you're pregnant. Like, was this planned? Were all your kids planned?
How about we look in the mirror first before we ask the questions?
No, but you know what? Listen, half the kids aren't planned, and it doesn't matter. And there's a reason why you're blessed that bring a human into this world.
Right.
And I never really felt more of a woman. Like my body's changing, and even though you know, I'm scared.
You literally cannot even tell that she is so pregnant. Like, that's the thing that's funny to me.
She's just being nice.
She's just, no, I'm not. Like, that ass. Sickening. Even at the gender reveal, the one thing I will definitely say is, oh my God, your familiar support, like, that is on another level.
Yeah.
But
we rolled deep.
Oh, y'all rolled deep for a fact. But to see Jonathan's reaction, I could die. That in itself, I feel like was one of the major purposes. Like, I feel like he just lit up, man. Like,
and that was his birthday weekend.
yeah.
So, you know, and he didn't care because he was funny. He's like, listen, I'm okay with it being a girl, like whatever God gives us, you know, like, we were okay. And he's, I'm already have girls and they love him. And but like the whole time after the gender reveal for that whole week, we were like, I can't believe we're having a boy. I can't believe we're having a boy.
Oh yeah, no, he was like, I could tell he was like, this is for me. Like,
yeah, like, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad I can do this for you, Jonathan. I'm so glad. No, but I just think it's like a really beautiful thing to go through, even though it's scary. I feel like when I was younger, I didn't really appreciate it as much because I was younger. Like, I didn't I wasn't appreciating like how my body was changing, or, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I've never felt more feminine, you know? And I just want to enjoy it like every moment of it now.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of where I'm at, like in this part of the pregnancy.
Yes, sis, you're definitely giving Cardi B on every major stage. 9 months pregnant, like that's the energy I see, and that's the again, representation fucking matters, bro. Like that's the type of shit that we should be seeing more of. Like you're you're just doing what you do best and what you love, like, and the fact that you're able to do that, the strong woman that you are able to do that while building, you're literally growing eyeballs, like that's fire. Like
I'm growing a human.
Literally
Growing human.
as we speak. You're not only doing my makeup, you're developing fingers. Like that's crazy. Like
Right now I'm like building bones.
right. Like
No, but it's so funny because I didn't think I appreciated it as much. Now it's like, I don't know. The only way I can explain is that it's the ultimate gift that I feel for me as a woman that I could do is to bring life into this world, and I'm excited for
Word.
But I am gonna probably I probably won't like any girlfriends.
oh yeah, no, that's
You're gonna
not
have
even.
all of us. He's gonna have all of us. So
And
like
it's not only just you and your girls. Your whole family is female dominated.
we're women.
Yeah.
We're crazy women. I'm just getting.
Go ahead, girl.
Wait.
Do what you gotta do.
No, it is, but it's so funny because, we always joke around because so my aunt, the one that I moved out to Jersey, probably one of the reasons why, she has 3 boys, the only one in our family, besides my sister now, but I grew up with them, so they were always like my nephews, and it's so funny because like when they would bring home girls, like if I didn't like them, I'm like, I was that cousin, like you always you can kind of tell like your sisters or your brothers like real friends or your kids real friends.
Girl, I am the baby of 27 boy cousins and like 3 girls. So like I felt that all the time. Trust me. Even to this day, I love Hitsim with everything in me. But like I still sometimes get nervous to introduce him to some of my cousins. I'm like,
but he treats you good, so that's
no, he does.
No, so I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, so seeing them. So the first thing I thought, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be a crazy boy mom. I'm gonna be mean to all his girlfriends. I'm like, he's only gonna love me for the rest of his life. I'm already, I'm like, oh my god, I'm already being protective. No, I'm joking, but
You're not.
I'm not. But I'm trying to be nice.
Right.
No.
Nah, he's gonna need to get all the smoke though. That's
Yeah.
a whole new generation.
I'm already picking out clothes.
That's the continuation of that bloodline,
Yeah,
man.
so that's why I'm happy because like the name will live on.
Right.
Right. But
Can't
no,
beat that.
and again, everything has its. I trust the timing of my life because you know what? Every time something didn't happen, it was the right time for it to not happen. And anytime I haven't been more ready to be a mom than I am now.
Oh, energy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's funny because not that I wasn't ready, but I wasn't. Now it's like we're not struggling no more. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we're not. We have things that we didn't have then. So what the hell am I worried about?
Right.
All
of my friends, I'm the only one of my friends that doesn't have kids, like that ass on some like real shit. And they joke with me all the time. They always fuck with me and they're always like, by the time you have kids, the strollers will be Bluetooth. Like you'll be able to I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to work smart, not hard.
Yeah. No, listen, you keep on building your empire.
But one thing that they always tell me is because one of my real reasons as to why I don't feel like it's the right time for me, is just because I really want to be in the right mental space, like you're saying, right?
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind that every one of my friends, even no matter how unprepared or what their circumstances were, every single one of my female friends that had kids, they just instantaneously developed into the best mothers. And I'm so scared that like that switch won't go off for me yet.
It
Like
will.
I'm like
You're such a good friend. You're a good sister. Like you're innately like just a loving person. So it will.
Thank you. But that's what I'm saying. Like even you, like you are a testament to that because like you're saying so unprepared, the circumstances that you were previously in compared to this pregnancy. Like, but not only did you make it happen, you built your empire during it. Like.
Because you do what you got to do. Listen, one thing about women is, like, we don't get enough credit. And not that, like, listen, I love men. Well, I love my husband. I never not like to, I'm not trying to get in trouble. But what I'm saying is I feel like women are very overlooked. Like, and I don't mean this bad towards any guys, but a lot of you guys cannot multitask.
None of you guys can multitask.
Okay. And we do a lot, like, we're the caregivers, we hold down the household, we're the moms, we're the bad cop, we're the good cop, with our children, or we're now building businesses, we're bosses, we're multi-income earners, and at the same time we're still trying to look good, like you know, and then we're making babies, you know, like, so I just feel like we should have a little bit more credit than it would. You know, like for me, like people are like, oh my God, how do you do it with 3 kids? I'm like, I couldn't imagine like what's not doing it.
Yeah.
That's what I can't imagine,
Right.
not doing it. And I always think like the person that I was like years ago, I'm like, I don't even know, I wouldn't even know what to even say to her right now. You know what I mean? Like, I like having stuff to do. I like, you know, constantly rebranding. I like, you know, kind of stepping out of my comfort zone. And also I have kids, so I want them to see that I don't want them to depend on anybody.
Right.
You know?
And they have that already instilled in them, like, I'm telling you, Jen doing pop-ups, her daughter selling fucking lip scrubs. Like, it's not even a joke. Like, I literally bought a lip scrub from her daughter, and it was bomb. I'm not even gonna lie. But it's just like things like that so many people don't have enough communication. Nobody really talks about that aspect of it. Like, and if you think, this is something that like cracks me up, because like a lot of the time men, like the narrative of men is to be the moneymaker, like that's what their responsibility is, right? Like that's their role. And then the female narrative, the role is to be the caretaker, and you know, that's their responsibility. But it's so funny because women now, me being one of them, Jen being one of them, do both of those roles simultaneously, and yet still there are men that are tired just doing one role. Like that's the thing that like, you know what I mean? It's like having that conversation, and even physically taxing. Like, listen, again, I don't have any kids, but for me to get through my work week, when I have my period alone, imagine 9 months of your body going through constant cycle changes, and you know, you're just saying like, I'm fucking tired all the time. Like,
and your hormones are crazy. So like one moment you're happy, and next minute you're sad. That like someone's like, don't even breathe.
Yeah.
You know, it's just funny, but you do it. I feel like as women, like we just push through. You know, and for me, like I probably am one of the first entrepreneurs in my family. Definitely the first female entrepreneur in my family. But like growing up, my mom was a teen mom. But my mom was such a good mom, I didn't know she was a teenage mom, you know? And when I was in high school, she was in college. When I was giving birth, actually the day my water broke, she just got her 30 and above in college. You know, and it's funny because that was instilled in me, I guess, seeing a go-getter. But back then I didn't realize she was. And then when I look at it now, it's like my whole family of women, they're all go-getters.
Oh yeah, that's definitely an Italian thing. I would definitely say that. Like, I feel like even, not only just Italian, even because in my Puerto Rican side as well, like the women, the matriarchs of my family, like we're way stronger than the men. Like the women are so much stronger than the men in the regard that like we've had to be the taker of everything. Like I even look at like my grandma, like she raised, until she died, she raised 5 generations. Of babies. Like she was literally raising newborns up until the moment she passed away. So like that type of strength is just on like another fucking level.
But it's also, you know what I noticed too, is like that old school mentality. One thing I have to say is like my grandmother, my great grandmother, like they were just tough women that held down the family. Like your grandma, like matriarch. You know, that's what I think when I think of my grandmother. And you know, I think matriarch. You know, and I see her like. And today's my mom's birthday, so I actually...
Oh my God, really?
Yes, it's her birthday. So I actually wrote her today, and I'm like writing her, and I'm not the type to be verbally mushy, but like I'm like, no, she needs to hear it, you know? So, and I said, you know, thinking about kind of everything, right? Because it makes you think about life, you know, when you start to like kind of look back on your childhood and kind of where you are at this very moment, right? Because you probably had so many reasons, all of us, where we shouldn't even be where we are right now.
Amen.
Right? So it's funny, I was like thinking of my mom, right? And now that I am a mom, right? For example, I played basketball my whole life. I traveled. That's not cheap, you know, but they made it happen. You know, anything I wanted, they were there, you know, work ethic, like teaching me to be the better person or the bigger person. And when I was younger, I'm like, oh, that's so weak. What do you mean, sir? And the other G. Now I'm like, oh my God, this is energy. This is what we talk about, energy. Like you don't feed energy, you know. So it's funny because I don't know. I just feel like I've always had strong female role models in my life, and I didn't appreciate it for me. I feel like until I had my own kids. because then it really makes you look at life full circle.
Right.
You know? So, like, even though you don't have, but you are very appreciative.
Oh no, yeah.
Like, you don't have kids yet. I'm not ready to be an aunt yet.
No, I'm not. We were discussed. I'm not ready either.
But what I'm saying is like, when I look back on life, like today I was writing to her, and I was just like, I am who I am because of what I grew up with. Like, both of my aunts, they both had kids and then got their college degrees. You know, they're all six-figure earners in the education system.
Wow.
You know, but that, again, that's because why? Who's the matriarch of my family? My grandmother. She helped all of us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think it's also like what you see also growing up. You can go the opposite way, or you can take that, if it was positive, and use it to fuel your fire.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. The experiences, the first-hand experiences that shape us, like, man, our testimonies and our stories are really unique for a reason. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why, like, even with, like, the kid situation, like, again, all 4 of your kids were born, well, the 4th one will be born, but, like, all 4 of your kids are being born in different circumstances, and yet, like, you're level up with every single, like, every what do they say? Every reason has a season, or every season has a, whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, you can just see it, like, and even now, I feel so grateful to be a part of this one. Like, I'm like,
I know, I am too, and that's how I feel. I feel like it's crazy, because not that I never felt love around every other baby, and I did, but this one, I don't know, I just feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I never felt that way before. Like, with the gender reveal, to see, it was literally the closest, like, family and friends. It was the people that cared about us the most. It was just like, you felt the love there, you know? And I'm appreciative, because I feel like a lot of women, too, that have kids older, you know, because I met one of JD in our group when she came out, and she's like, I'm just so emotional because I know how you feel, you know? Because, like, you know, it's just every emotion that you go through.
Right.
You know, you always want to make sure you're doing the right thing by everyone.
And I feel like you definitely do that, girl.
Even though I canceled our summer plans for this summer.
I know. I was literally, that was another day. The first thing that you told me, the first thing I said when she told me, I was like, we were supposed to be bumble class this entire summer. And she's like, you could smoke for me.
Like, next summer.
Next summer.
Now we're really going to go away.
Dead ass. We're going to have little Poppy by the pool and shit. I haven't seen a lick of this. Let's see how we're doing. I'm gonna. Oh my God, Jen, I look beautiful. The pony is ponying.
How do you like the makeup?
I love it. I look tan as shit. I love it. Wow, you can't even tell that my eyebrows are a mess right now. You killed it, bitch.
You like it?
Oh, I love it. Wow, I'm really feeling the ponytail.
Right?
Yes.
I love it. I feel like you just have to walk around like this all day now. I love the pony.
I feel so beautiful. And this looks perfect. It's going to look best. It's going to look bomb with the whole dress. Oh my God, I look beautiful. Thank you. Glam, by Glam Life, can't beat it. Can't beat it. Thank you so much, me love.
Love you.
Oh my God, not the pregnant titties.
Calling to go when I need all the answers. She told me don't worry, I got you, keep dancing. Future is popping, as God is a witness. Saw the new business, oh, it like vision. I took the people, accept me for me. I'm trying to be what I'm destined to be. Excuse my temper, I'm just flowing like trees, like the waves in the ocean. Potion